inspire.
Welcome back to the Kidney Stone Diet Podcast, the show about reducing your kidney stone risk and living your best life. I'm your host and fellow student, Jeff Saris.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, and I always do this with my hands when I say the different. I don't know why. I just do, and I see it in the screen. I'm like, yeah, I guess it's just what I do.
Well, we all have our things we do, right? So I love that about you. And I'm Jill Harris, your kidney stone prevention nurse. So what's the problem? We all have our thing. Whenever I'm with Dr. Coe, he's always like, he does this. He does this. He rocks
really?
Back and forth. Yeah, he goes like this. Yeah, when he's thinking. So we'll be writing an article or whatever, or we're having just a conversation. He's like, he does this.
Interesting. Yeah. So,
and then I'm always like moving my leg. Between the two of us, we're like a bunch of jumping beans. So
no, it's perfect. Oh wait, I actually need to cue this up for 1 second. So
okay, go ahead. I'm ready for the holidays while you're queuing up. Are you?
Yeah, I mean, I am looking forward to it. Sorry, let me just get
It's
this.
December, I don't know, 12th. So when this comes out, I guess maybe this would come out right before. No, I don't know if it's good. No, it won't come out for Christmas. But anyway, I hope everyone had a good holiday. I'm time filling while Jeff figures out his shit over there.
Yeah. I just had to queue up this week's voicemail because we want to jump past the beginning where they give their phone number. But other than that, we should be good to go now. But yeah, I'm excited for the holidays. I don't know. I like it. I like it around this time, even though I wanted to travel and go somewhere warm and sunny before Christmas. We're going to go after, shortly, probably right around the time this airs, or maybe a week or two after that. We're going to hit the beach in Miami for a little bit, get some sun, and then come back and get back to work for the new year.
I think that's perfect because, I mean, I love the holidays, so I want to be here. I don't care how nasty it gets here. Doesn't matter to me. It's the whole end of January, February, March that you're like, all right, TikTok, this gotta stop,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a little crazy. But yeah, the holidays is a special time. I really don't care about presents. I just really like being with friends and my family. I love seeing the tree in the background. I love it. Makes me so happy. And it's just those simple joys in life that we must be mindful of, especially in the world nowadays, right? So grab on and whatever joy you can suck out of a day, make sure you do that. It's so important.
Absolutely. But yeah, what do you say we dive into the question?
I'm ready. Week? Let's hear it.
So this is from David.
David, okay.
I don't know what I've been diagnosed with yet, but I did have a kidney stone. Turned out that it was uric acid. Had a 24-hour study done. Then was told I have to limit my oxalate and purine levels, which makes it quite difficult when one is animal-based, the other is plant-based. What the hell's in the middle? I am 64 and definitely not overweight. Either what I thought was a healthy diet, lots of smoothies. Turned out I was eating lots of purine and oxalate type foods. Makes it difficult. Thanks.
Yeah, that is a great question.
It's a great question. So he said he made a uric acid stone. That's what he said. I'm assuming, but I don't know. I'm assuming he had a surgery or he passed a stone and the doctor analyzed it for him, sent it off to a lab. And so he knows he has a uric acid stone. That's what I'm going to assume. He knows that for sure. That's what he said. I'm just going by what he said. There's a lot to unpack here. Buckle up, people. Buckle up. I'm going to tell you why I say buckle up. So again, why we do what we do here. And this always pulls on my heart a little because being a patient with my cancer stuff, I want you to know that I too have been to plenty of doctors' offices and they throw the brochure or they just give this generic advice. Now, I'm not bumming on his doctor, but I just want us to recognize, well, you're a healthcare professional, a nurse, a CNA, a doctor, and then to all of us who are patients, we must be responsible with the advice we give. People have said to me, Jill, you're going a little overboard. Have you been sick? Because obviously you haven't, because you wouldn't be saying that to me. The state of affairs is this. There's no time in our healthcare system. I just tried to make a derm appointment. The next available one is August. It is December 12th. So a lot can happen between that and why I'm going to the dermatologist. I'm just saying, last year I tried to make a colonoscopy, stage 4 rectal cancer, 6 months wait. If I don't get it at the top of the line, I don't know who does. So with what has happened in our healthcare system with COVID, and there's not enough help, and people didn't go to the doctor for 2 years, so much. It's a travesty that when a patient comes to us, we have to rattle off information in a way that we don't even understand how the patient may or may not understand it. I hope that makes sense. So I think, one of the reasons that I went rogue and I don't work in hospitals anymore, and this was decades ago, there wasn't time to do or say the things I knew that would make a better, more of a difference in a patient's life. So I'm telling you all those words because this isn't anybody's fault. This is just the way it works now. There's no time. No time. The fact that a doctor even said something or gave a brochure, that's pretty great. But then we're left to go home, look at that ditto or whatever, I'm old, handout, whatever, brochure, and try to decipher it by Dr. Google. Because guess what? Ain't nobody coming to us in the portal anymore either. There's not enough help. There's not enough time. So now we've got to figure out what all this means. Purine, what the hell is that? Oxalate, the hell? David's saying, I eat a healthy diet. What are you telling me? David's also saying, I was told, watch your purines and watch your oxalate. And he said, watch my meat and watch my plant. What the hell am I doing? Sucking on notebook paper over here? So what is David to do? And I get heated about this, or I have a lot of empathy for it, because we're not only sick, and we're not only trying to prevent more disease, but how do we get the information now? The doctor's just trying to get to room because to see his or her 20 patients that insurance companies are dictating they see in one day, 30, 50, whatever it is. So they're doing the very best they can. David wants to do the very best he can by making sure he never goes through that hell of forming another kidney stone. So I think he also said he did do the 24-hour urine collection, which all of you should do, you kidney stone formers. Otherwise, you don't know why you're forming stones. You can guess, you can surmise, you can think, but you don't know. There could be medical conditions that predispose you to form kidney stones, and you won't know until you do the urine collection. Get it done. My doctor won't order it. Tell the doctor you want it again, because you want to do everything you can to prevent kidney stones. Never had a doctor say no after that. And if the doctor says no, any doctor can order it, go to a different one, meaning go to your primary. They can order it too. All right, I digress as usual. So David also said these things. He's not overweight. He's been eating a healthy diet. David also said this, which is very common. I eat lots of smoothies, lots of smoothies. And what I'm guessing here is David probably overate the highest oxalate foods. So people who eat healthy tend to overeat. You'll see a pattern if you watch more than one of our videos here. People tend to overeat healthy foods because they think it's the right thing to do. It makes perfect sense until you're a kidney stone former. So some people, when they're overdoing oxalates, it's too much spinach, too much almond products, sweet potatoes every day. My personal trainer friends, sweet potatoes as much as they can eat every day. That's their carb. So they're overeating high oxalate foods without getting any calcium sources. And so the only way oxalate can leave our body is to bind with calcium in our GI tract and leave through the stool. If there's no calcium there, because we didn't eat or drink any, then oxalate gets reabsorbed back into our body, and that's what can cause higher numbers. So the other thing the doctor said is watch your purines. Typically, that means somebody's overeating meat protein. I don't eat red meat, Jill. Nobody's talking about just red meat. Meat is meat. Chicken, turkey, pork, seafood. All of that can be higher in purines, okay? So that doesn't mean, so the advice he got was lower oxalate and lower purines. What does lower mean? What does lower mean? Where is the goal, dear doctor? How much should I be striving for? You said my stuff is high, looking at my urine collection. How high is high? Where do you want my results to be? How do I get there? So the doctor said lower purines, lower oxalate. But David said, so what am I supposed to eat? So lowering means the kidney stone diet goals. Get to 100 milligrams of oxalate a day. Super easy to do, people. Super easy. That's not hard to do. You take away spinach and almonds, those go away. You can eat other nuts and seeds within normal portion size. Get your oxalate list at kidneystonediet.com, the start page. Get it so you see. We also have a handy dandy app you can put on your phone that can count the Harvard oxalate foods too. So you can quickly look up and see what your favorite food is in oxalate. For all the foods that Harvard doesn't study, we say have that food once or twice a week because I'm practical. You might have a leftover. Do not throw them out. Have that food once or twice a week, not a problem. When you eat and get your calcium needs met every day, you'll find the goals for calcium on my blog at kidneystonediet.com. Go to the blog. So your goal is 100 milligrams of oxalate a day. That is your goal, David. As far as purines go, it doesn't mean you can't eat foods that are higher in purine. Purines also will be booze. So if one drinks a 6-pack a day, we're going to say lower that to 1 or 2 beers a day, right? So it's not that you can never have these foods. It doesn't mean you can't eat meat every day. It just means eat within your normal portion size. We have a meat protein calculator at kidneystonediet.com, the blog, so you can see what's cool for you. Now, what we really have to be careful of with David is he said, I'm not overweight. So what I fear and what I see every day in my practice is people who do not have a weight problem are then told, watch your meat, whatever that means, watch your oxalate. People go home and they really limit those 2 things to the point where they don't have to the point where they're really losing more weight and they don't need to. A big bulk of my practice is having people come to me needing to gain weight because they're so afraid of eating, or they took the doctor's orders and made up their own thing with it. Okay? So it makes sense. So there's high purine vegetables too, people, but they have been shown not to really increase your uric acid. So I don't want you to worry about the high purine vegetable as much. Now, if you're eating mushrooms, I've actually had people that eat 7, 8, 9, 10 cups of mushrooms a day. Again, I'm always going to say about food in general, eat the portion size, trade up your foods. Let's not eat the same food every day, folks. Let's move it along. Go to the produce section. There's no superfood. All those foods are having their own little capes. Mix it up, get rid of spinach and almonds, and mix up your fruits and vegetables. Let me see here. I pulled up Mayo Mayo has a nice little purine list. I want you to go to mayoclinic.com, put in high purine food list and go through it. I'm not going to waste our time here, but red meat, seafood, organ meat, all of those things, alcohol, sugary foods, and beverages. That will decrease your chances to have a buildup of uric acid as well. So all of these things, follow the kidney stone diet. That's what you do, David. So you'll have your goal of 100 milligrams of oxalate. You'll see you can eat so many of your favorite foods. Stop eating the same things in your smoothies. Do I care about smoothies? No, I do not. I don't care about them if you're mixing them up, and get rid of the spinach and almond milk, because that's typically what cashew milk, cashews are in there. So it's the type of, people say, Jill said no smoothie. Jill doesn't say no smoothies. Jill says, look at what your smoothie base is. Stop using the high oxalate foods day in and day out. Get your calcium needs met. Also, do not use smoothies as a meal replacement. It's not sustainable long term. It's not sustainable. We are meant to chew our food. If David wants to use that for breakfast, because that's what his breakfast is, that's beautiful, fine. Okay, that's not a problem. He seems to enjoy what he's eating. He made a kidney stone though, so he could be overeating certain foods like high oxalate foods without getting enough calcium, and maybe he's overdoing his meat protein. David, schedule the urinalysis with me, kidneystonediet.com, so I can go over your urine collection and see what's going on, and that will prompt even a better conversation with your doctor going forward as well. So you can see exactly. Also, we've got to be careful here. Lots of times there's just, has nothing to do with what David's doctor said, meaning this isn't about David's doctor, this next statement. This is just in the world. Just in the world. I want to be very clear about that. I am not dogging on any medical professional, being very clear about that. But I, as a nurse, when I'm talking to people, I'm very clear. You might want to limit, you might want to go lower. I'm very clear on how much, so a patient knows, because sometimes when you're giving advice to a patient, they're not thinking, they're so listening to you, they're not thinking about a lot of stuff until they go home and they're like, oh, I should have asked this, this, and this, because that's what they tell me, so I know. So over the years of talking to all of these patients for 24 years, I really know where to go in my consultations, because I have learned from mistakes I made, or things that, once you get off the phone with somebody and then they email you 20 times and you're already getting hundreds of emails a day, you learn quickly how to incorporate information into a call so they get everything, okay? Because I certainly don't have time to email people all the follow-up stuff. So I'm very thorough in my phone calls, and I know how to talk to a patient in a way that they can understand, because everybody's different. And so the goals of the kidney stone diet are very specific, so patients know what to try to get to. Specific, concise information so they can be successful. And then how you actually make all those goals, well, you take the kidney stone prevention course, you go to YouTube, you stay here and you start learning from these free videos. You go to kidneystonediet.com. That's how you start then learning that how to. But the kidney stone prevention course, also $40 off right now. That will eventually go up, people. And you know what? When we raise prices back up, people email, Jill, it was on sale. Can I get it for that? No, you can't. It's been on sale for the last several months. When it's off sale, it's off sale. So get it while you can, because $40 off won't last forever. We're giving it away. I totally understand where David's coming from. David, all food within portion sizes. Perhaps you're going overboard on certain high oxalate foods and maybe overeating meat protein based upon your weight and your genetic makeup. Schedule the consult with me if you'd like, and we can go over it more in depth. I think that's about it for David. But I understand that, again, plants and meat. What am I supposed to eat? I don't know what to do now. What do I eat? Bananas all day? Right? So it's complicated, right? Mm-hmm. We've got to pay attention to how we give advice and how patients interpret our advice. I've learned that from being a patient myself and also doing the work I've done so long.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And
And
like you mentioned with
yeah.
the smoothies, the big thing tends to be like spinach is healthy and almonds are better
Mhm.
than other things. And like it's funny because
Right.
just this week I came across someone looking for smoothie recipes and like someone who's means well, she's a nutritionist and everything. She's like, oh,
Yeah.
every day, 2 or 3 large handfuls of spinach, almond butter, almond milk, and then whatever else you put in. And like,
Of course.
and that's so common because we think it's more
Yes.
is better. But and like I think it was in the last episode when I mentioned like I knew nothing about oxalate before. So like I would have been
Right.
like, oh, that sounds great. Let me try
Yep.
this recipe for this smoothie, but we don't know what we don't know until we start to learn those things. But what's left to eat? That's why we have the meal plan as well. It's like you answered that
Yes.
call after so many people were like, okay, what is there? So kidneystonediet.com, you can find the meal plans where every single day you'll get breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack as inspiration. It's not what you have to eat, but it's just to show that there's so much more that can still be eaten, despite what feel like really just they can feel like restrictions, like our hands are tied, like
Yes.
there's nothing left, but there is so much that is left, and that is a very practical approach to every week having the inspiration. And even just a few weeks in, like 1 month in, you have so many recipes and so many things, it can help recalibrate where you are and then be like, oh, okay, I don't need this anymore. I don't need the meal plan. I get it. Like I see how much
Exactly.
diversity there is within the kidney stone diet parameters, the goals that are set out.
Yes, absolutely. And right now we're also giving a 30 recipe snack and dessert book that will come with the meal plan, which is they're friggin' good too. So it's a beautiful ebook that you download, and it comes with the meal plan. So we're giving that away free just for getting the meal plan. And when you cancel the meal plan, you get that as a gift because we're cool like that at Kidney Stone Diet.
Yeah, it's always yours. But yeah, I think that was a great question.
Great
Thank you
question.
so much, David, for calling in. And if you're out there and you have a question, the number again is 773-789-8763. And we want to hear from you. There's a lot of people out there. It's wild to think how many people are watching these videos, how many subscribers across all platforms, audio, video. And
Yes.
we love hearing as many voices as possible. So thank you to everyone who subscribed, everyone who listens, everyone who calls in. And if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, thumbs up, comment below. It goes a long way. If you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, if you leave reviews there, ratings, all of that helps. Like every little bit helps us reach more people. And we are eternally grateful because we just want to together improve the landscape here and help people live better lives and not be suffering.
Yep. I mean, look, kidney stones can be prevented. Of course, we can reduce up to 80%. We get up to an 80% reduction rate. So it's really important with a treatment plan. But, a doctor has to order a urine collection so you know what treatment plan you need to go on. Whatever treatment plan you go on, it will include diet. And also for those of you, I work with a lot of people who just do weight loss. Kidney stone diet is going to help you lose weight too. Again, it's not magical. We're telling you to pay attention to how you feed your body with lowering salt and lowering added sugar. When you do that, you're typically have no choice but to eat healthier food. So everybody that's watching, thanks so much for all the love and support you give us. We just feed off of it, and it means so much to us. So thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for leaving comments, and we appreciate all the kindness you show us. Wonderful. Thank you, David. Great question.
Yeah, and we will see you all next week.
Bye, guys.